Does daily or regular content creation make you feel like you're drowning? In this video, we're going to talk about scaling your content creation sustainably so that it lasts, so that you can create great quality content that attracts and nurtures and ultimately converts your followers into paying fans. If this is interesting for you, then stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to organize your content so that you can effortlessly scale your content production, meaning you can make more content in less time. We'll talk about keeping that content organized so that you are ready to scale. And if you fail to plan, you're just ultimately planning to fail, right? So if you care about content creation, then stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the secret that content creation pros do not want you to know. So if you want to know, then stay tuned. I'll see you after the intro. In order to really effectively scale your content creation process, what you need to do, what is absolutely essential, is to have a content calendar. There are a ton of different varieties of content calendars, but whatever one works for you, you have to have your content plan organized. So in the year of content training that we do in the visibility hacking world, in our Live Academy program, in our live stream conversions program, is based around what we like to call your content pillars. It's as if your house, your brand, is this big, beautiful house, and it's being held up by these pillars. Those pillars are essential components of your brand and your solution and your industry and your niche. They explain what it is you do and how you do it. Once we have our content pillars, we then can figure out specific titles, specific hooks, specific images and stories, and we can start to construct really impactful content. When we go through that whole process, we need to keep that information organized, and we use our content calendar to do that. We can have a visual representation of what content we're putting out on each day. And better yet, when you're looking at creating all of this content in a really quick way, well, now you know exactly what the plan is. You can wake up one day, feel inspired to talk about topic A and not topic B if you want, or you can batch a lot of content and then send it out, schedule it out throughout the month, or so on and so forth. But having that organized calendar is essential to your success as a content creator. Great time for question of the day. I am curious to know if you have a content calendar. Do you currently plan out your content? If so, how far in advance? Let me know what that process is like for you. And if you don't already plan your content, let me know why. Super curious. Let me know down in the comments. Now, how far in advance should you plan your content? I have been on all different sides of that pendulum swing. I started out not planning my content at all, so I would scramble every day to come up with a new, great, high-impact piece of content. And honestly, most of the time, they would flop. And it wasn't because I didn't have a large enough audience or I wasn't playing into the algorithm or anything like that. It was because I was rather sporadic with being able to fulfill on that commitment to create content. And it was because I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I was drowning. And this is in no way a sustainable way to keep content production up. So then I went on the complete opposite end, and I planned out every single piece of content, every word, every hashtag, everything for an entire year. Actually, I went a little bit overboard and I planned out 18 months worth of content for all of my shows, all of my podcasts, all of my platforms, and it was so overwhelming. But you might be thinking that would actually be beneficial, because once you go through the arduous process of planning out 18 months of content to that level of detail, it must be really easy to fulfill on that throughout the rest of the year when you just have to schedule stuff, right? And Unfortunately not. For me, I found that I felt too tied. If I wanted to move my business or I wanted to answer questions that had come up maybe a month ago, a week ago, 6 months ago even, I didn't have that flexibility in my content plan to be able to do that. So I tell you this because I want to recommend planning out your content in 3 to 6 month time intervals. If you're just getting started, I definitely recommend starting with planning 1 month at a time, just to get through the process, just to figure out what it feels like, where you need to tweak the process to be specific to your brand, your audience, and your environment. Some people are more comfortable filming on camera and are able to batch record tons of content at the same time, whereas other people might feel a little bit more drained after a couple pieces of content. So it's all up to you, but I recommend planning out on similar intervals throughout the year so that you can plan on your content plan to be fresh and new, but also not be too overwhelming on a day-to-day basis. Another thing that's not really overwhelming, but really impactful is to hit the subscribe button and join us here on the channel. Become an official visibility hacker. We'd love to have you along for the ride. So we've talked a little bit about batch recording, or when you're going to record a whole bunch of episodes at the same time, or a bunch of pieces of content, a bunch of reels, etc., at the same time. And then you can schedule those out. But another really great way that's rather effortless to create value-packed content that nurtures and attracts and ascends is to repurpose content. And we can do this in 2 different ways. One way is to repurpose content that you've already published. So go back over the last, say, 200 pieces of content you've put out on a single platform. So go look at your Instagram account, for example. Look through the last 100 or 200 posts and grab the ones that have the most engagement. Grab the top 30% that have the most engagement and start scheduling those out to be reposted. I promise you, with the noise of social media, your viewers may not recognize that you've already posted this before. In the world and the environment of digital marketing and social media in general, people post and repost content on a regular basis. So play into that psychological trigger of seeing the same image and the same brand message more than once. It builds more brand recognition. It builds more conversion. Now, the second way that you can repurpose content is to repurpose content that your community, your people have posted. So in the visibility hacking world, when you graduate from our programs, we send you a really cool t-shirt along with a whole bunch of great graduation prizes. And what's really exciting is when we get to see our students posting photos and posting videos wearing their visibility hacker shirt. Clearly, we grab those photos and we repurpose them for our brand to highlight our students, to showcase our brand message, and as social proof to people who are watching our brand externally. So go start repurposing your content. Don't feel overwhelmed at the content creation process. If you haven't automated your process yet, don't stress about it. Content creation and connection with your people, content for the sake of connection rather than content for the sake of content, should feel exciting. This is why we love live stream shows, because you can create a space that you can get super nerdy about what it is that you do, regardless of your industry, your niche, how big your following is, how big the following of your competitors are. You really get to share your message, your passion, and your way of solving problems with your ideal customers. If you want to hang out with more incredible entrepreneurs, inspiring entrepreneurs who want the same thing for their businesses, more visibility, less energy and effort to do it, more opportunities to authentically connect and take on big brands, then I recommend you join us in the Visibility Hackers Facebook group. You can head over to visibilityhacking.com. There's a link at the top of the page that says Become a Visibility Hacker. You can click that, it'll drop you into the group, or you can find the links down in the description. I would love to have you guys over there. You'll be able to check out all of our live shows and so much more. You'll get your questions answered. You can join us live on Friday Night Live. Get your questions answered right there on the spot with the visibility hacking coaches. It's super impactful. It's a great time, and I'd love to see you there. Until then, remember, I love you, be excellent to each other, and just go live. Your people are out there, they're waiting for you.